Hi there, I'm Nancy Nash with Starfish Strength, and today I'm going to teach you 3 great combination exercises you can do to maximize your results in minimal time. So for equipment today, you'll want a set of dumbbells or some cans that weigh between 2 and 5 pounds. And then don't forget to have some water handy. We're going to go through each of these exercises twice. So if they feel a little bit easy with the dumbbells or cans that you're using in the beginning, you can always progress to a heavier weight in the second set. And if you want more specific advice on how much weight you should be using and how many reps and sets you need to get more ideal results, I'm going to link to a video I made on that at the end. And if you want my help setting you up with a program to make sure you get the results you're after, contact me through the link below in the description. So the first exercise I'm going to do is a dumbbell curl to overhead press. So I want to start with my ankles about hip socket width apart, and I'm going to draw the belly button in as I curl the weights up, turn so the palms face forward, and then press overhead. So as we're going through this, I want to pay attention to the alignment of the rest of the body. I want to make sure that my shoulders are right on top of my hips, so they're not sitting behind my hips. And then I also want to make sure that as I'm pushing overhead, I am continuing to pull the belly button in and contract those abs, so I can really feel this not only in the abdominal muscles and in the shoulders and arms, but I can also feel this in the middle of my back. So I'm focusing on keeping the elbows towards the front of the rib cage. Now, if you can really get your whole body involved and think about pulling the knees apart, keeping the hips lined up over the knees and ankles, you can really get the glutes involved. You can contract the quads a little bit. Now, this becomes really important as we're lifting things that are heavier and heavier. I know at 3 to 5 pounds, we're not going to notice this significantly, but we're going to build those great patterns of movement so that you feel better set up to lift and move everything in your life. Nice job. Our second exercise, we're going to do a hinge to row to kick back, or a deadlift to a row to kick back. So I'm going to draw the belly button in again, squeeze the tush as I hinge at the waist, and then I'm going to row, pulling both of the elbows back, but more importantly, pulling with the shoulders. So some of us will tend to kind of roll that shoulder forward. So instead, I want to make sure that that shoulder goes back and down as I row. So hinging, I'm going to draw the belly button in, squeeze the glutes, bend at the waist. Row, I'm going to pull the shoulder blades down and together, elbows come to the rib cage, and then kicking back, straightening the arms, and then slowly bending the elbows, reaching through the arms and pushing through the feet to come back up. So we've basically combined a deadlift with a dumbbell row and a tricep kickback. So in the deadlift, it's really important that I drive that motion back up through the feet. Because again, as this gets heavier, it's going to become more important for me to do more of that lifting with my legs and understand the role of the abs and the back muscles in lifting. So I should feel this quite a bit in my upper and lower abs. I should feel this in the middle of my back. I should feel this between the shoulder blades as I draw the shoulders down and together. And then obviously I'm going to start really feeling it in the triceps the more kickbacks I do. Definitely start lighter on weight with this because that tricep kickback is going to feel like the hardest part. But if you stick with this, you will get stronger and you will see that it becomes easier to use more weight in a very short amount of time. Awesome job. Let yourself grab some water and we're going to move on. For this last exercise, you'll just need 1 dumbbell or can. So we're going to do an alternating lunge, and then we're also going to add an abdominal twist to it. Lining up for lunges, I again want to make sure that the ankles, hips, and knees are stacked, and I want to keep them there even as I'm lunging. So I'm going to draw the belly button in, keep the shoulders right on top of the hips as I step forward. I'm going to try to land towards the middle or ball of my foot rather than landing with the heel. Hopefully your hamstrings, the back of your legs are pretty stretched out, so this feels a little bit easier. Some of us do tend to land with the heel a lot, which is super hard on the joints over time. So as much as you can, we're going to alternate those lunges, landing with the ball of the foot. Now, most of my weight is going to transfer and shift into that forward foot, and then I'm going to use the quads and glutes on that side to push myself back to that start position. So try to practice that if you can, drawing the belly in, landing on the ball of the foot, and then using the quads, the glutes, and abs to push yourself back to the start line. So your quads should be on fire. Let yourself shake out the hips a little bit. And now we're going to add our twist to that. So I'm going to draw the belly in, step forward, landing on the middle or ball of the foot. And then I'm slowly going to turn towards the forward leg with my torso, turn back, and then push back through that leg. So try that on the other side. Draw the belly button in, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads, land on the ball or middle of the foot, and then turn towards that leg, slowly turn back, and then push off that leg to come back to center. So holding the dumbbell at my chest is really going to help me use the ab muscles. You can tell that you don't really want to let yourself fall forward quite as much as when you're not holding something in front of you. And then I'm really going to start feeling it in that side wall of the abs and the obliques as I do that twist. I'm also going to feel it quite a bit in the middle of my back. And if you don't feel it now, you'll probably feel it tomorrow. So keep it going for as many functional reps as you can get in. So if you do feel like that back knee's not feeling great, give yourself a break and let yourself come back in when you're ready. I want to make sure, again, that most of my weight, 70, 80% is in that forward leg. A lot of us will shift our weight into our dominant leg, regardless of whether that's the forward or back leg. So if you know that you're right or left dominant, kind of think about that as you're doing this. Awesome work. We're going to go through this whole workout one more time. So go ahead and let yourself grab some water and come right back into it when you're ready. All right, so we're going to go back to that dumbbell curl to overhead press one more time. So go ahead, slightly bend the knees, draw the belly button in, squeeze the tush. I'm going to curl, turn, and press overhead. So remember to focus on keeping the elbows towards the front of the rib cage, almost like you're serving a tray, so that I'm not just training the shoulders to get stronger, but I'm really training the biceps to get stronger. And holding things in front of you, you're going to feel it so much more in your abs. So if it's an ab workout you're after, make sure that you're really focusing on that elbow and shoulder alignment. Now you can notice that I'm also controlling the descent on the way down. So I'm not just letting the weights kind of droop or drop down. I'm actually controlling that. So in that eccentric phase of training, we actually are also building strength. And one of the analogies that helps me is thinking about getting something off of a tall shelf. So if I am pulling something down, I want to make sure that I can lower it with control. So make sure you're practicing that right now, because whether you're taking a mug off a shelf or taking the Christmas tree out of the attic, we all need that functional strength. You're doing a great job. We're just going to do a couple more. Really controlling that lowering phase on the way down. All right, nice work. All right, so let's go back into that dumbbell hinge to row to tricep kickback one more time. So this time, really focus on the alignment of the knees as we do that hinge. So I want to make sure that I start by drawing the belly button in, and then as I hinge, I want to keep the knees out in line with the ankles and the hips. That's going to help me use my glute muscles when we push back up through the feet. So hinge, and then remember in that row, I'm going to draw the shoulder blades down and together, hold the elbows at the rib cage as I kick back, and then bending the elbows, straightening the arms, pushing through the balls of the feet to come back up. hinge, draw the belly button in, row, pull the shoulder blades down and together, and then kick back, really using those triceps and using the legs to come back up. So we talked about how that first move, that hinge, is a deadlift. So I should really feel that in the back of my legs. So I shouldn't have the knees coming forward of the toe. You can really see me pushing my butt back. And you could literally stand next to a wall and do this. Sometimes I think that's helpful because sometimes we're able to push one hip back a little bit easier than the other. So see if you can try to push them back synchronously or as close to even as you can get, and then do that row to kick back. So let's see if you can do a couple more. Just think about all of those elements. Hinge, push the hips back, row, pull the shoulder blades down and together as the elbows come out to my side, level with my rib cage, and then kick back, straightening the arms, and then reverse that. So I'm gonna bend the elbows, reach without dropping the shoulders, and push through the legs to come back up. Home stretch, we've got one more exercise left. You can do this. You're almost there. We're just gonna do one more set of that forward lunge with a twist. So remember, setting up, I wanna make sure that my hips, knees, and ankles are all lined up together. I'm gonna draw the belly button in, step forward, landing on the ball or middle of the foot, turn towards that forward leg, turn back, drive off that front leg to come back to center. Let yourself do that on the other side. Draw the belly in, squeeze the quads, squeeze the glutes, step forward, twist towards that forward leg, twist back, and come back to center. So as much as I can, I'm not letting the knees buckle in towards one another. I'm keeping that straight ankle, knee, and hip socket alignment to put maximal stress on the muscles we're training and minimal stress on the joints. So if I think about my feet on train tracks, that kind of helps me to know that I should be moving forward and back, kind of like cross-country skiing. I want to make sure that I'm in a nice straight alignment so that those movements are more efficient and I'm putting more stress on the muscles than I am on the joints. So hopefully at this point, you can really feel this in your abs, in your back. Your booty should be on fire. Your quads, your thigh muscles should be on fire. And you might even be feeling this in your calves. My shoulders are working to keep the shoulders over the hips while I'm holding this weight. And definitely the heavier that this weight gets, the more intense this exercise is going to be on the entire body. And then the other way that I can progress this exercise, other than adding more weight to it, is to get lower in my lunges. So I would not recommend tapping your knee down to the floor, but I would recommend getting eventually into a 90-degree angle with both knees. I actually think it is much more difficult to hold yourself above the floor in that position than it is to tap your knee down. When I tap my knee down, the muscles are going to shut off. And then I'm going to have to really use a lot of force to lift myself back off the ground. So my advice is to gradually start doing these a little bit lower with a greater range of motion. I'll link to one of my stretching videos at the end so you can start to build that mobility, that strength and flexibility you need to really get down low in these lunges. Nice work. We've just got one left on each side. Really focus on that alignment of the joints, that engagement with the core. Awesome job. You're a rock star. You made it through this whole workout. Now, if that wasn't enough, go ahead and pick up some more weight, go back a couple chapters and try it again. Thanks so much for exercising with me today. I hope you feel better set up to approach your next workout and all the other movement you're doing in your life. If you do want more specific advice on how to set up an exercise and nutrition program specific to your goals, please reach out to me in the link in the description or check out one of my videos linked here at the end. And I look forward to continuing this journey with you. I'll see you in the next video. For equipment today, all you'll need is a set of dumbbells. And if this is